liquor tastes sweeter in this town. Could it be it's the same as the last? I swear I've seen your face elsewhere before, just as familiar as a bottle and a glass. Hey darling, sleeping on the blacktop. Hey darling, running through the trees, honey. Hey darling, leaving for the next town. Listen, my set sketches.
And welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast. I am Shane Poore. I'm here with Christian Garner, and we are here with our good buddy today, Samuel Gates. Say something, Samuel.
Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you here.
There we go.
Don't be afraid to speak up. You guys will meet Sam Gates in Season 2 of Appalachian Holler Hunters. He will be in our Strutmasters episode. He went with us down to Kinston this year, and when we participated in the NC Strutmasters competition.
Had a ball of a time.
Had a blast.
It's awesome.
And Sam Gates pretty well carried us as far as the hunting part of that.
Yep, sure did.
Well, there wasn't any pretty well to it. I carried this outfit.
Well, yeah.
Somebody's got to be there to do it. Somebody's got to be there to tote us along.
That's it.
But as you guys can probably tell, we have been absent for a little while from doing a podcast here. We've been 4 weeks now without a podcast.
Yeah, it's right at a month.
And it is no fault of anybody's but Christian's.
Hey, now.
We'll just go ahead and blame it on him.
Whoa, now. Well, hey, it won't be run over by some bus. What's up with that? No.
We have been struggling.
Yeah, mostly.
We've been busy. We've been trying to finish up turkey season. Everybody's been hunting like crazy. And, Christian, you don't live up here right now, so that's made it.
It's been hell, to be honest with you. It's been tough. I live in Mooresville, North Carolina, which is roughly 2.5 hours away from where we're based out of, which is Avery County, North Carolina. Yeah. So, pretty good drive. So, that has put, at first, it wasn't too bad. But the more I do it, it's getting rougher and rougher. They're at the end of turkey season, having to get up at 2 and 3 in the morning to drive 2 hours to be here before sunrise. I was struggling.
Yeah, that starts the day off rough right there.
Oh, it's rough. Especially when you stay up editing until 12 o'clock the night before, so you only get 2 hours of sleep. It was tough.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
So that's put a big hamper on what we've been trying to do. So, but it's all for a good cause because we got some great stuff coming.
We'll got some really good stuff coming. We've got a lot of exciting turkey hunts happening this year. The guys just tore it up. I mean,
it was awesome.
The rest of the team tore it up. I don't know about the two sitting here in the room, but
yeah,
everybody else
Shane
done real well.
Nothing.
Well, I'm going to be honest. After we got back from Strutmasters, I was so freaking burnt out. I was just like, all right, I need to step away from hunting for a week or 2 or 3.
And Shane stepping away from hunting ended my turkey season because he pretty much carries me any other time that we go hunting. So that was it for me, too. That
put an end to yours. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. You kind of hurt my feelings when you come into the shop here and wanted to buy some turkey calls. I felt like I was being replaced.
Well, I mean, hey, when my personal turkey caller tells me that he ain't got time to go turkey hunting with me, what else am I supposed to do?
Then you come to me and
buy some turkey calls.
Yeah, and you come to my shop. Well, I mean, I do appreciate the business.
Would you rather me have went somewhere else to buy the turkey calls?
That's the truth. I do appreciate the business. I guess when you put it like that, I should just be thankful. But I appreciate the loyalty. I didn't come
in and Jew you down. I come in and said, hey, man, what do I need? Sell it to me.
Show me what I need to do your job. Is basically show me what I need to replace you where I don't need you anymore is what I got out of all that.
Can't be grateful. Can't be thankful.
No. Come in here to give me money. I'm going to gripe about it a little bit.
Yeah, you got to.
But there's light at the end of the tunnel as far as your being able to do this and being up here more regularly.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm really excited. We finally, the bad part about it is it's being a tourist town.
Yeah.
Because we've obviously got some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. I mean, hands down, the Blue Ridge Parkway and all that stuff.
It's not a secret anymore.
It's not.
Everybody
and their brother knows. You get people from all over the world at this point. That leaves people like me with nowhere to find a place to live.
Oh, I guarantee it.
It's been bad. I've spent 2+ months trying to find a place and got lucky from a random Facebook post that my aunt seen from somebody else and a comment, hey, we've got a place for rent really cheap, nearly a quarter of what I'm paying now. I'm like, sign me up, please, Lord, let this work out. So
yeah, because
luckily,
between the tourist town and then having Boone over here in a college town, it's hard to find a rental property around here that's not $1,500 a month or $1,200 a month, something crazy.
You got that. You got Lee's McRae College in Banner Elk. You've got it all. I mean, it's just tough. But like I say, there is a lot there because finally I'm able to get up here and we're going to make – this thing is getting ready to explode in a good way.
Yeah, we've got
really
a
good
lot
way.
of stuff coming down the pipe. It's going to be
It is-
exciting. It's going to be
Yes.
an awesome year for the Holler Hunters
Yeah,
in general.
What we thought last year would have been, obviously, like we mentioned before, exceeded our expectations by
A lot.
a lot. This year, we've already exceeded our expectations this year.
Yeah.
By far. We'll get into that later, like we say, but
Yeah.
it's going to be good. We'll get into that here in a little bit, though.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people coming on board, and it's going to be a fun year.
Oh,
and
yes.
hopefully deer season goes as well as turkey season did.
Hopefully turkey season, hopefully deer season this year goes as good as deer season last year.
Last year.
Did I say that right? I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Anyways.
And bear season, if the camera activity right now is any indication of how bear season is going to be, it's going to be a banner year.
It's going to be
It's
great.
going to be insane.
We've got
'Cause-
everybody finally jumping on board with learning how to use their cameras and
Yeah.
more willing to work with cameras, and plus we've got more people willing to go hunt.
Yeah,
be
and
out there when it
we're going to
happens,
have
so-
everybody equipped with some sort of an action camera. Hopefully the Tacticams, or some of the guys have got GoPros and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But have chest rigs like you've got that you wear whenever you're diving or turkey hunting or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys are going to be wearing that stuff, so it's going to make it a lot easier to film, because when you're chasing a bear, it's hard to carry a video camera.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's what a lot of our guys talked about. Like last year, we didn't really drop the ball. I mean, we still got some pretty decent footage for what we were trying to accomplish. It was
Yeah.
good, But when you're trying to wrestle, 3 or 4 dogs on leads, it's on a hot bear. You trying to fight them and keep up with where other dogs are at and everything else going on around you. Not to mention there's a 150, 200 plus pound bear in front of you. It's kind of hard to do all that and run a camera. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of multitasking.
Our guys
What
don't
people
like to, they don't believe in any kind of distance marksmanship when it comes to bear hunting. They like to stick the barrel to its head and
Yeah.
and dampen
Now-
the noise.
Now, let me speak to that. I mean, you're talking about your boys having to wear all these cameras, outfitted all over the place.
Yeah.
When I go bear hunting, all I need is a dash cam.
Well, that's because you hit it with the truck.
No, wait just a minute. No, that's not what happened.
Okay, the bear hits you in the truck.
So, we're down at Lake Mattamuskeet, Dare to Hide Outfitters. It's down there in Hyde County, North
Yeah.
Carolina. So, it's big, huge. I don't even know how many acre farm that they've got down there. So, down there with my dad a few years ago. We're down there hunting. And, so we get on this. Looks like better than a 500-pound bear. Huge.
It's big.
Running across this, he's 500 acres away from this huge field on the other side. So I pull my gun out, squat down, take a couple breaths, got him in the scope. Somebody else, get in the truck. We're going to head him off. He's going to the sanctuary.
I was going to say, if you said you shot that bear right there, I was I was throwing the flag. I was going to be like, yep, not happening. That's my bullshit flag right there.
So anyway, we tear out down this field. We're running parallel to the bear. Beautiful bear. He's 500 yards away. We're running parallel. He's kind of cornering towards us. He's 200 yards away. He's beautiful. He goes down, and this big canal disappears. So we took a hard right turn because between the road, so it's the canal, the road we're on, and then the bear sanctuary is past that. So we're between him and the sanctuary at this point.
You
So
last line of
the
defense.
radios are going wild. Don't let that bear get out of the canal. So we're flying 60 miles an hour out through the field, dust boiling everywhere. Everybody's, where's the bear? Where's the bear? We're all looking around. About that time, bam! Bear jumps out of the canal, destroys the side of the truck.
All right, Paul Harvey, finish the story. Then what happened next?
The rest of the story's like, yeah, there's my bear. Jump out. I'm so close to him that I can't find him in a scope. I look through my scope, all I see is black.
So you roll out and you ice cube him. You turn the gun side and pop him in the head.
Hey, the bear's down. The bear was in the freezer. We ate the bear. I got the bear rug. Great bear hunt with my dad. Great.
Let me
memories.
ask you a question. Who'd you get to do the taxidermy?
I cannot remember that guy's name. He was in Ashe County.
He does a
was
good job, though.
An older guy. Yeah,
I just wondering how he got the tread marks out of the side of his
So
face.
that cost a little extra. He charged me a little extra for that.
I would have, if nothing else, I would have flipped the rug over and wrote Goodyear on the bottom of it.
But he didn't hit the tire. He did. I mean, we had to peel a little paint out of his head. but other than that,
So
Well,
when you
Lord.
shot the bear was addled, but not dead.
yes, that's right. Yeah,
Addled's a good word for it.
well, I mean, I was in the danger zone, man. I mean, I was right there.
yeah, you were sitting in the
he
passenger
coulda-
side of the truck.
Oh, God.
I mean, that was a high-speed accident. I mean, it was a high-speed accident, and you're face-to-face with the bear in the same 5 minutes. I mean, I'm 4 feet away from this thing. I mean, he could have came to and snapped my head off.
You should have just exchanged insurance information and walk away. Is that not what you're taught to do? I mean, come on, man.
Oh, Lord. God.
All right, well, we got a little off track right there.
Oh,
we got into the stories a little quicker than I wanted to.
Oh, it's hilarious.
We are going to go into our first break, and we will be back shortly with episode 4 of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast.
This segment of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast is brought to you by Realtree, the official camo pattern of the Appalachian Holler Hunters. Be sure and check out Realtree's newest pattern, Realtree Timber, to stay concealed all season long.
Here in the Appalachian Mountains, we are subject to some of the most drastic climate changes anywhere in the country. Whether it's hotter than blue blazes in the summertime or colder than a froze-toed rooster in the wintertime, Carhartt has you covered from head to toe. Visit Carhartt.com and see why they are the official apparel company of the Appalachian Holler Hunters. All right, guys, welcome back to the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast. And as we were saying before, we just finished up turkey season this year. And like we said, we had an awesome year. Of course, we haven't been going that long. It's only our second turkey season as a group, but I don't know. We're going to be pushing every year from now to beat this year. I mean,
this year's going to be tough to beat.
It's going to be tough to beat.
But it's very, what's the word? It's definitely beatable.
It's
because you got to think, you didn't get no turkey.
Well, yeah.
I didn't get no turkey.
I got a turkey.
Sam never got no. Sam Clausen never got no turkey, and that sucker hunted harder than anybody. I have to say, harder than anybody else on the team.
Sam stayed with it.
I mean, he's the only guy I know. I don't think if he missed a day, I'm surprised if he ever missed a morning.
That's
because
crazy.
he got up and went every single day. It's not from lack of trying.
I hate to say it, but when he gets it all figured out, and it will all come together for
it's
him.
Going
He's
to.
way
Once,
too. And I hate it. I'd hate to be a turkey when it finally comes together for him.
Because once he gets whatever it is that comes to him, whenever he gets it, if it's anything like it is for how bear hunting is for him, there ain't going to be a safe turkey inside.
No, they're going to be in trouble. It's going to be a bad day to be a thunder chicken for sure.
Because the reason we're saying this is because Sam Clausen, like we say, it's my stepdad, the guy we've had on a couple other of our podcast episodes. I can't speak now. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, English is tough.
It is. Anyways, but we've had him on here. I mean, master bear hunter. I mean, you ask anybody
and dog
around
trainer.
here. Yeah, dog trainer,
everybody says he's probably the best dog trainer, whether it's coon dogs, bear dogs, anything.
Yeah,
he's the best dog trainer anywhere.
Very well known, not only in the county, but I mean in all of Western North Carolina, East Tennessee. I mean, straight up.
Yeah.
But that being said, his first turkey season was last year. We mentioned that in an earlier episode. He didn't even start until last year.
Yeah.
Last year, he didn't hunt a whole lot. I mean, he hunted a pretty good bit, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But compared to this year, he hunted, like I say, just about every day. He missed very little.
And this year, he went on his own a lot. He was determined to get out there and get one on film by himself. And that's a hard thing to do for anybody. Yeah. Whether you've been hunting 5 minutes or 50 years. He caught close a
lot. Just never could. It's just, whatever it is, it's a small piece he's missing. It's going to be bad for turkey. Real bad.
Yeah, we had a lot of tags that went unfilled. We had a lot that got filled, though.
Yeah, a lot that got filled. Actually, 28 birds were down in total for Appalachian Holler Hunters. From time it started, whenever we started in Georgia, back in, March.
Yeah, and that was, we didn't even kill a bird in South Carolina as a group. That was Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee,
I don't think nobody in our team got a South Carolina bird.
And we had tags.
Yep.
Had a bunch of tags.
Yep, we just ran out of time. Didn't get to.
Didn't have time to go down.
So it's this year's very much beatable. So we got goals.
Yeah.
So, but this year was incredible compared to last year. Very much incredible.
Yeah, and we've got some new guys that joined the group as field producers, and they did an awesome job.
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, they laid them out. They wore some turkeys out, and they got really good footage. We were meeting with some of them today.
Yeah, swapping footage, getting our headshots and stuff for stuff we're working on for a website and stuff, and we swap footage, and they've got some really good stuff.
Yeah, and I think all the stuff they learned this year, using those barrel-mounted Tacticams and stuff, that's going to translate a lot into bear season and end up getting a lot of good footage because it's a lot easier to have that camera mounted on the barrel of a gun It's
Yep.
just easier to tote around. Those things get great footage. It's 4K video, so it's
right. You can't beat it for what for when you're right in the middle of action and you ain't got an extra hand to hold a camera. Well, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, you got a gun, it's there for you.
Yep.
You're good to go. Can't beat it.
But all in all, it was a great turkey season. We had our sponsors were awesome. Bone Collector Game Calls, they really hooked us up this year.
Yeah, it started off super early. It
And-
started off with the Georgia hunt.
Yep.
Sent us a bunch of calls. Then they sent us a whole bunch of calls for our youth turkey hunt.
And Tacticam, they sent us some
Tacticam sent us
cameras.
some cameras to give away.
Bone Collector also sent us some hats and stuff. What else? Sent us a bunch of apparel and stuff to give away.
Yep, we could not ask for anything better.
No,
I mean,
no.
it started off just amazing. Went straight from the youth hunt, the youth competition hunt that we had here at Mountaineer Outfitters, which turned out awesome.
Yep.
Had, let's see, 6 birds.
6 good birds killed.
Yep, 6 good birds killed, and a ton of happy youngins.
Oh, yeah. Everybody that showed up left with something.
Yep.
Trophies, all kinds of
Trophies,
stuff.
prizes, you name it.
And then we
can't beat it.
finished that, went straight into Strutmasters,
Yep.
had a blast.
Got to meet with all our sponsors down there. Got to
Yeah.
meet with Bone Collector. Got to meet with Culpepper and Waddell. All those guys had a blast of a time.
Yep.
Sam
And then-
killed a turkey somewhere in there.
Yeah, a blind hog will find an acronym
Yeah.
now and then.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
But
then straight
then-
into that, it went from that to it's go time. Open up in Tennessee. Actually, it opened in Tennessee before we done all
Yeah,
that.
and them boys went in there with a vengeance. They were
They
mad
tore,
at
They
those
tore
turkeys.
Tennessee apart.
Yeah, they were mad at those
Mitch
turkeys.
and Matthew, Justin Pritchard, all them boys. I mean,
And we're killing some weird looking birds.
Wild
Did you
birds.
see the picture of the bird Cody Carpenter killed?
I don't think I did. No.
It was
it's wild.
yeah, it's like red looking. It looks different than
It's
anything.
more like a caramel color.
Yeah, it looks different than anything we killed. They've been sneaking
Yep.
in somebody's pen or something and whacking some of them yard grazed birds. But
Thing
I
was
mean,
wicked. But yeah, they
they
tore
looked-
Tennessee apart.
well, and he killed one that looked like that, and somebody else killed one that looked like that, didn't he?
Somebody did. I don't remember which one.
Was it Mitch?
It's hard to keep track of when there's 28 birds on the ground.
That's true.
Cody's was the wild. No, I think it was Mitch. I could be wrong. I'm pretty
I
sure it
think it
was
was
Mitch that got
Mitch.
one. It's similar, but not quite.
Because it
as-
was around the same area where they killed those birds. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
yeah, which is all game lands. Nobody hunted private land in Tennessee
Yeah.
this year, so it's all public land. Hard hunting, real hard hunting. They
Yeah,
put in a
boy.
lot of miles on their boots,
Yeah, and that's where your Onyx hunt stuff comes in.
big time.
It helped those boys out a lot. It's
Oh,
GPS maps that you can see where all the game land edges
Well,
are.
whenever you can go in and roost a bird and you can mark it and know exactly where that bird is and know exactly where you need to go in the morning.
Well, and you can
It
see
helps out
topos
so
and
much.
find the easiest way in and out and know exactly how far you are from private land so you
Yep.
don't get
Right.
warden called on you, don't get any trouble. It just
Right.
It's
You hear
a
a
good
bird
thing.
that's 1,000 yards away, you don't know whether it's on a ridge, whether it's in a holler, whatever. You can kind of guess.
Yeah.
With Onyx Hunt, you don't have to guess. It's right there in front of your face. You know exactly what the lay of the land is. You know what you're going to get into the next morning.
Yeah. Well,
Or
and you got to use
whatever.
that last week down there on the creek.
Yes.
When you
it
got-
helped big time. That's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
That's the closest I've come to killing a turkey.
Yeah.
And I was so close, but yeah, so far.
Well, tell us what happened.
Well, like I say, unfortunately, come up short. Never got it. But we've been hunting some game land here, pretty local. And Matthew, I ain't gonna say he's the one that taught me how to turkey hunt, but he's taught me a lot about turkey hunting. Especially last year, I hunted with him more than just about anybody. Taught me a ton. Well, these birds specifically are actually some birds we got on last year, and I went in here thinking, well, maybe I'll get a shot. Actually 100% just hit the call from the road, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like, let's see if I get anything good. If I hear something, we'll go for it. Tapped the call, and this bird's hot. I mean, gobbled his brains out. I was like, well, I know where he's at. I actually called Matthews, like, just so I'm aware. Like, should I go here? Where should I go in at? What do you think? Looked it up on Onyx Hunt. Found a creek where I needed to cross. Found another holler I needed to get in to try to head them off. And I was able to do just that. I was able to get it up and behind them. Didn't get up in front of them. And got within right at 100 yards, but it's open woods.
Yeah.
And that was the problem I had is once you get in open woods with a turkey, you just have nowhere you can really
You can't
go.
hide.
You
Yeah.
can't. You just have to stay still. And until they're out of sight and gone, you can't move again.
Yeah.
So just unfortunately, just never was able to make it happen. But Onyx Hunt made it a lot easier. If it wasn't for that, I'd have never. There was a particular part of that trying to cross a creek. I had no idea where I was supposed to cross at.
Well, and there's a lot of steep ground in there. You get in a bad place, you get hung up in rocks, and God only knows what else. And
yeah, luckily I was able to use that app to be.
Well, and you're right up against State Park too. If you get in the wrong area right there, they've got cameras all over that place, and you will go to jail. You'll get a ticket or go to jail.
Yep, and I don't want to have nothing to do with that.
No, they're getting pretty strict on that on that side of the world. But
yeah, don't want to have nothing to do with it. But like I say, thankfully, was able to use it with the help of Matthew and stuff. I was able to get close. I was real close. It had me fired up. I'm telling you.
Well,
I can't say that's not the closest I've been to killing one because I took a shot off in 2020.
Yeah.
But we don't speak of that.
Well, it happens. Sometimes you just got to send it. Hope for the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I went down there, same area one morning, and I have never hunted that area of the county. I stay on this side. I just don't really go down there very often. You had told me there were birds down there. You wasn't going to be able to make it back up there, so I was like, I'm going to try to get down there and just see what I can hear. I took one morning off, and this was one of the 2 mornings I hunted western North Carolina this turkey season. And I got down there, and I pull up in the edge of this field, just place to get off the road, and I thought, well, this would be a good place to start. I got out of the truck, and I eased the door closed, and I walked up to the front of the truck, and I was like, sitting there listening, looking around. I'm like, this looks pretty good. I wonder if there's anything close. And I hit my slate call. Yeah. Right behind the truck. He just went to hammering. I turned around. There's a turkey at 75 yards on the other side of a 1-lane gravel road walking down toward me. I don't have a gun in my hand. I don't have any of my stuff. I'm just standing there at the truck like, well, shit.
Oh, God.
This ain't going to work.
Yeah.
And he walks within about 50 yards of the truck just screaming at me and then turns around and leaves the world.
Gone.
But I heard a bunch of turkeys in there that morning.
Oh,
that was the only one that gobbled and came to me. Now, I went down out to the end of the road and went on up in the woods and was calling and walking, didn't hear anything, come around a big curve, and here comes a turkey up over the edge of the bank that was coming in silent, just running at me. Yeah. And, of course, he was as surprised to see me as I was him, and he took off, and I don't know that he's landed yet, but he went. I think he come back to this side of the county maybe. Maybe we'll have some turkeys for next year.
That's it. But I think you had more success at just random places of finding turkeys than anything. Buddies' houses, random yards, off the side of the main highway.
My normal spots were garbage this year. I mean, I don't think I heard a gobble anywhere that I normally go. And I had to go, and I just stumbled into some turkeys in random places like down there. Yep. And then I rode over to one of my buddies' house. He's building a new house. And last day of turkey season, I'm not going to go. It's windy. I just give up. So I get off work here at 12, and I'm like, I'm just going to go right around, visit with some people, and just run my mouth. And so I decided to stop over at Puddin's house, over at his new place. And I pull up, and standing right there beside the house, 2 longbeards, full strut, gobbling their heads off. So I'm standing there leaning up against a pile of trusses for his house with a calling, and they're coming at me, and they get 30 yards and just start strutting back and forth and gobbling their heads off, and I'm just standing there like, yeah, this is a pretty good way to end my turkey season.
Yep.
And if the shoe would have been on the other foot, if Puddin would have been at your house and saw those turkeys, he would have climbed on the roof and jumped off with his pocket knife.
Yeah. If he hadn't had a gun, he would have been trying to find makeshift a slingshot out of a stick and a rubber band. I wouldn't have given a nickel for those turkeys hunting if she would have been on the other foot. At that point, I just with what we do, if you can't get it on camera, it don't matter. And I could have got it on camera, but what kind of video?
You got some pretty cool video of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was different looking because you're peeping around the corner of a house,
just creeping around the house,
It looks like I'm a peeping Tom trying to peep in on somebody, and what I'm trying to do is peep around on these turkeys.
Oh Lord!
But
overall, still, it was
good.
It is an awesome season.
Now you done some turkey hunting by yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So, and it actually makes me feel really good that you didn't call in or hear any turkeys in your normal spots.
No.
Because I've been hunting with you, so your normal spots are my only spots. So yeah, I cruised around a few times, and
that right there is the reason rednecks blindfold people before they take them fishing.
That's it.
That's exactly
Or take
why.
them turkey hunting.
Or take them turkey hunting in this. Should have put the blindfold on you.
Yeah, because
Sorry, go ahead.
I knew. I mean, like, yeah, I got this. Come in the Mountaineer Outfitters here, buy me some turkey calls, no problem. I'm just as good as Shane. Here we go. Well, after, a couple hours of riding around making sweet music on my new turkey calls, or so I thought. Nothing. Nothing. No holler from a crow, no rabbits crossing the road, nothing. I mean, it was dead out there. So I thought, well, I have scared everything in the world off and never see anything again. But I was very unsuccessful after, on my own, very unsuccessful.
I make it look pretty easy.
That's true. It's very true. Like
We've been fortunate. The 2 or 3 times me and you have been, well, it's been more than that, but we've been very fortunate when we go hunting together. It don't happen like
birds
that.
go down.
They die.
And that's what everybody's like, man, I've hunted my whole life. I didn't see any turkeys for 2 or 3 years in a row. I'm like, what are you doing wrong? I mean, Shane gets a turkey every time he goes.
Well, and then we took Anna that one time, and that bird crawled up in her lap. I mean,
that was great.
It was literally the most picture-perfect turkey hunt I've ever seen. And to not get a shot off right there, it was beyond anything I've ever seen. We literally pull up, turkey's gobbling on the roost, across the road. We got permission to hunt that side of the road, walk over there, tell her, sit down right here. Samuel, you sit down right there. I'm going to sit right here. We sat down. Turkey, there's probably, like 50 yards of woods and then that tree patch.
Right, yeah, it was close.
And then he's on the other side of the tree patch. So I start calling. He flies down toward us, lands in the edge of the field, starts strutting and walking and drumming and spitting right at us. 10 minutes, and he's within gun range. And 11 minutes, and he's within rock range. I mean, he's getting close. And she never fired a shot.
Yeah, well, she was off. She was pointed kind of the wrong direction. She was set up, like 20 degrees off or something.
It wasn't a lot. It was, but we had told her if it gets close, you cannot move until you're ready to shoot. And she didn't understand that you could flip the safety off and pop and twist and shoot. But it was a lack of communication. But it was so nice. I mean, that bird come in on a string. It was probably one of the most. I mean, he read the script. He done exactly what you want every turkey to do. And still didn't die. And then we chased him for about 2 hours. Never could get him to do it again.
But see, the script, I think Shane's already got the script wrote before he goes turkey hunting. Because we were down, we were in the game lands over here one day. We pull up, we hear the turkeys gobbling. Here we are. All right, we cruise up in the woods. We get set up. Shane says, now you sit here and you point this way. And I'm going to sit right behind you and I'm going to point the opposite way. Well, me and all my professional turkey hunting, that's it, man. That's what's going to happen. He's going to come right to the end of my gun barrel. It's going to be awesome. Well, 10 minutes later, he comes 20, 30 yards from my gun barrel in the brush, can't get a good shot off. And then Shane hits a call a couple times. He turns a hard left turn right in front of Shane's gun barrel.
Well, no, that's not exactly how it happened.
That's exactly
no, that's not.
You knew
we were
exactly
pointing,
what you were doing.
We were pointing the same direction, and he come around behind us. That was the hunt with the dirt mound.
Yeah.
And he come around behind us, and I told you to roll over on your belly because he's about to come around that dirt mound.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it. So as soon as you told me to look the other way, I looked the other way. So now Shane's looking the only. Yeah, that's how it went down.
As soon as
you. Hey, don't look over here. Don't look. Hey, you look this way, and then the turkey comes that way.
Yeah, as soon as you roll over, he does a 180 and comes back the opposite direction and walks right in front of the gun. And I look at Samuel. And Samuel's laying on his belly, looking that way, and I'm like, I go, you can't kill him, can you? And he looks at me like, what the hell? What do you think? Do you think I can kill this turkey right now? And he goes, shoot him. I said, all right. But I didn't argue with you very long when you said shoot that bird.
Played me like a fiddle from the beginning, I think.
Well, I don't. Let's go into the first turkey hunt you went with me when we were down there at the curve.
Oh, yeah. No, that couldn't have went any better. My first day turkey hunting.
It could have went a little bit better. You could have waited on the turkey that was gobbling.
Well, hey, I saw a turkey. It had a beard. I mean, that's it. That's what we're here after.
So what happened?
So we're hunting. We got a turkey to gobble. Same situation. We walk right over. I tell Samuel, sit down right here. Turkey's coming that way. And I sat 30 yards behind him. I'm sitting there calling. And I had been after this turkey all season long. Puddin had been after this turkey all season long. He was uncallable. He would gobble his head off, but he would not come to us. And he broke stride, and he was coming.
Oh,
He was actually getting closer because he would stay just inside of hearing range, just enough to give you hope,
Yeah.
just to make you think this could possibly happen because there's no way to walk down through there. It's a big old holler, and he's on the other side of the holler, and he finally broke, and he's coming. And so I'm sitting back there just doing my thing, calling and stuff, and I can see Samuel, but I can't see anything in front of where Samuel's at. And I'm thinking this is going to happen at any time. And then I look to the left, and I can see an opening. It's basically an old road bed to Samuel's left that they've got planted in grass. And here comes Jake walking up through there. And he gets within about 5 or 10 yards of Samuel and then turns and walks right in front of Samuel's gun barrel. And I seen Samuel's shoulders tense up, and I'm thinking, is he shooting at that Jake, or is he shooting at the big bird? Maybe the big bird come across the top of the hill too, and sure enough, kablooey.
I mean, it was a bird. That's what we were there after.
We were there
The
to
turkey.
kill the turkey. You killed the
Mission
turkey.
accomplished.
that's it. True enough.
You didn't. I didn't specify a specific turkey, but I don't blame you. For a first bird, that was an awesome bird, and you literally tore that bird's head off.
And
It was so close.
it was a bird in the hand. And how many birds did y'all have in the bush this year?
Well, later
And who
that
got one in the hand this year?
later that day, how many did we end up with in the bush?
Well, that's true. We got a much bigger bird that same day.
Yeah.
Well, when I say we, Shane got a much bigger bird.
And then I got heckled again. Oh yeah, take me out and let
Oh,
me
yeah,
shoot the
that's
baby
exactly what
bird,
it
and then
did.
you go
Yeah.
shoot a freaking giant.
That uncallable turkey, that was him. And you called in that Jake at the last minute, knowing that I would shoot that Jake, knowing that this uncallable bird is going to be the next ridge over.
We were like 15 miles away. That wasn't
Hey,
the next ridge over. If I
You
called
tell the
it,
story like you want to tell it. I'm going to tell it like the truth.
yeah, if that was the uncallable turkey, he put on some legs between the time you shot and the time we killed that next, because we were 15 miles away at least
That's awesome.
on a completely different mountain.
Oh,
but-
that's awesome. Gosh.
Oh, Lordy. Well, anyway, so Samuel is into a lot of other stuff, not just hunting and fishing. Tell us what you've been doing today.
Well, so today we had a fire department dive team training day. So I'm a member of the Linville Fire Department here. We've got a rescue dive team. So we went down to the Gray Quarry this morning. We did some training. We did a lot of drills. So one drill that's pretty essential is when you're underwater, if your mask comes off,
Yeah.
then you have to figure out what to do, because you can't just bolt back to the surface, because you'll get the bends, nitrogen buildup,
Yeah.
kill yourself. So probably the hardest thing, and the thing they really hammer into you the most in scuba diving, is your life support. Once you're down below 60 feet or so, your life support's right here. Your life support is not at the top.
Yeah.
But being humans, your first instinct is to go where the air is.
Go to the surface.
Well,
yeah.
That's not the best plan. So just being, aside from your secondary mission. So always in recreational scuba diving, your first mission is surviving.
Don't drown.
So yeah, I mean, really, you're down there to either have fun, you're down there to do a specific task, but your main goal is to survive.
Yeah.
Is to make it back to the surface. So 90% of what we're doing is training ourselves to be safe, and doing practices where, if you're ever caught up in that situation, if you go down, something happens, you've got an alternate air supply,
Yeah.
you've got an extra mask in your pocket, you've got all these drills, and it's like anything else, you do them over and over and over, and then if you ever are faced with that situation, then you know what to do by instinct.
And you don't panic.
Right. Because everything from day one, the first dive I ever went on, don't panic is the main thing.
Yeah.
Because if you panic, you're going to hurt yourself, or you're going to hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
But so we actually, today, the dive team actually got put on standby. There was an incident at Elk River Falls, which is our main problem spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
If some of the guys that are on the dive team have done some recoveries down there.
Yeah.
But we're getting set up to where it's possible to do a save. It's really not probable, but if all the cards fall just right and somebody disappears under the water, there is a possibility that we can get there.
Get there
And
fast
save
enough to
somebody.
get them back out.
Right.
And for everyone listening to the podcast, Elk River Falls is a local waterfall here on the other side of the county that is notorious for people to go to swimming, recreational swimming, and they'll jump off the top of it. And it's full of garbage down there, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
You've dove in that.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been to the bottom
you've been to the bottom of it.
There's rocks, there's trees, I saw one, it was just a piece of just a piece of quarter round metal.
Yeah.
That was stuck up.
Just sticking
up right there where people jump off.
Well, and you guys go in there and tear it out and stuff, but every time it rains really hard, you never know what's going to wash down there.
Yeah, you never really know.
So I have the questions just because I said it, not really knowing. I've always heard there's like car parts and stuff down in there. There's that type of junk down in there?
Well, I've been to the bottom and I didn't see any of that stuff.
None of that.
But, with stuff changing, there's wash, there's always stuff going on under there that nobody really knows what's happening.
Now, is it the pressure coming off the falls that just pushes them down and don't let them back up, or is it them hitting something and getting knocked out? Or
Well, so, we've all been there swimming. I used to jump off the falls when I was in high school. It was great fun.
I never got that stupid.
I was there. I did it.
I
was way cooler than you.
Yeah. Yeah. Way dumber than I was.
But so, if you're at the bottom of the falls, you're looking up, people jump from the left, they jump from the right. And in the swimming pool area of the falls, just to the right, is a big rock that people think, wow, that's way safer. That's only 15 feet off the water versus, 50 feet off the water.
Yeah.
Right. That's the place I want to jump. Well, actually, that's the most dangerous place to jump.
Really?
Off the falls, because about 3 feet out from where that is, there's a shelf. Mm-hmm. So people jump from there. They don't jump out far enough. When they hit the water, their head kicks back and that ledge conks them out. Well, there's a flow that's right there close. Mm-hmm. And we're actually Paul Cole. He's our most experienced diver that we've got, and we're actually talking about doing some more research and trying to figure out exactly what the water does right there. Yeah, because we're not sure if there's an underground tunnel where the water's coming out and pouring on out into the river. Yeah, and there's a tree right there that people get hung up in, and that's where they've made their recoveries, most of their recoveries from. Yeah, is that tree. So people jump off there, they get knocked out, they go down, the water sucks them in there, and they just don't come up. Yeah. So, imagine how crazy that'd be. You see your buddy jump off, he's jumping off this little bitty rock, and he's just gone.
Now, are most of the issues down there off the low rock, or are they off the high side?
So, to my knowledge, most of the issues have been off that lower rock.
Really?
Right there. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Because the high side, you said, is what, 50 feet? 60 feet?
It's probably 60 or so.
It's a long ways to the bottom. It's way further than I would ever want to jump off of it. But
I never jumped off that side. I jumped off the left side, which is probably 25 feet or so off the water.
Now, does it have a deep pool underneath it? Or
it's, I think it's in the 40s. 40-some feet down there to the bottom, but the water's still pretty crazy, and it can it can suck you back underneath. Actually, the first time that I was training in there in the falls, so me and we've got a master diver on our dive team is from Johnson City. Yeah. So I said, man, I want to go under there. I want to see it. And he's like, let's go. So we're going down. We're cruising under there, and we're at about 20 feet or so. We're headed back behind the waterfall. Yeah. So we're diving down through there. Everything's awesome. So I'm, cruising around, taking it all in, and I'm seeing these bubbles coming down. That's coming from the waterfalls pushing air under. Yeah. You're seeing bubbles. And so kind of like something off of Finding Nemo, maybe. I turn up and I look, and I'm like, man, those bubbles are so awesome. Well, as soon as I turn up and look to take all this in, the water hits me like you're pouring it out of the bucket on my face, and blows me back out in the pool. Yeah. So all I can do, I put both my hands over my face to hold my mask and to hold my regulator in my mouth. Yeah. And it just cruises me back, pushes me on back out to the back. Well, the dive master that was with us, he said, I got back out, I got up, got my bearings, everything was fine for me. Yeah. I look around, I don't see him, and I'm like, oh, well, great. Now what am I going to do? Yeah. So I'm sitting there for just a minute, looking, kind of thinking, okay, he knows more than I do. He's smarter than I do.
Now, are you surfaced at this point?
Yeah, I'm okay. Up top, looking around for him.
Yeah.
So here in probably a minute after that, which is an eternity when you're sitting there waiting for somebody to come up out of the he pops up. Well, he comes over and we talk for a minute, and he's like, man, he's like, it shot me under the water. So it got him behind the waterfall.
Yeah.
So he's back there, but he knows, I mean, he's been, I don't know if he's been in that specific situation, but he's been in situations like that before.
Yeah.
So he came out and he said, just by the way, what would you have done if you would have got shot back there? And I said, I have no idea. I mean, I guess just try to get out. And he's like, so for your information, he's like, I'm really glad this didn't happen. We probably should have went over this before we got in the water. But so if you're trying to swim through a waterfall,
yeah,
you have to go down, which I didn't know at that point. But because the water's forcing you down, if you're trying to go to the surface, you're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah.
You'll never make it. So if you're ever caught in that situation, go down.
Go down.
I mean, it's just like being underwater. It's against everything that comes natural to you. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's an eerie place, and it's, since I was a kid, I've been like, man, I wonder what's down there, like everybody else.
Yeah.
But
what's visibility like in there?
About 1.5 foot.
So once you get down there, you really can't see anything. No. You're just feeling around.
Yeah. So I wear bright orange fins, so people, if somebody can see me.
Yeah. Now, do y'all have lights and stuff you carry down there?
Yeah, so you always carry a light, and then you always carry extra light in case you drop your light, so you have a light to find your light.
All right.
But, the visibility's not much, and you're trying to swim, everybody's trying to stay together as a group, so, in case something does happen, you got somebody there.
Yeah.
But, it's really hard to keep up with somebody. Because I saw a golf ball wedged down here in between these two huge boulders. I mean, I have no idea how it got there, but I was like, man, that's awesome. So I turn over to look at that, and I'm like, that's cool. And I look back, and it's just black. I mean, I might as well be in the middle of the ocean with nobody around. Can't see nothing.
Holy cow.
So I said, So I think they went that way. So I swam around that way for a few minutes, and I looked up on them that time. But, it's really easy to get turned around. So I was going for my advanced certification, which is the second certification in dive training. So we were out on a wreck out of Moorhead. And so they told us before we left, they're like, don't go past the markers. There's lines down here. The bow of the ship's all busted up. You can't go out that way. Stay back here at the stern, around everybody else.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, this is cool, but there's, 10 other people in the water or something. I was like, I got to get away from all these people.
Let's go to some uncharted areas.
Let's do some cool stuff. So me and this kid that was my dive buddy, we were going through the same class together. He was probably 17, 18 years old. He was about 6'3". He might have weighed 98 pounds. I mean, little scrawny guy. So I'm like, come on, let's go. So we're cruising out through there towards the bow. Well, I didn't have a compass at that point, which at the time I didn't know was as grave a mistake as it was. So we're cruising out through there. And, I'm swimming. I think I'm swimming north. I think I'm swimming in a straight line. Yeah. So we get out there to the end. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Let's turn back. So you can see about 20 feet at this point.
Okay.
And we've probably swam 60 feet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, turn about face. We go back. Well, turn, swam. Ended back up at the bow in the same spot that I just left.
Swimming in circles, ain't you?
So apparently one leg kicked faster than the other.
Yeah, you like a fish with a short fin. You're just going in circles.
But so now we're up at the bow of the boat. Can't see much. We're in 75 or so feet of water.
Yeah.
We're about out of air. Now what do? Well, we go up. So you go up and you have to do a stop. You have to do a safety stop to let your body kind of decompress, get the nitrogen and stuff out. So we're headed up. We're stopping 15 feet from the surface. So we're there. You look up. You can't see nothing. You look left, you can't see nothing. Look right, look down, nothing. I mean, it's just like you're suspended in space because the visibility's low. You can't see anything.
Even when you get close to the surface there, you couldn't see anything.
You couldn't see nothing.
That's insane.
So, I mean, all you got to go by is your computer, that's telling you where you're at, telling you how deep you are, and you got to stay there for a certain amount of time. So that's a little eerie. So we're kind of standing there, hanging out, waiting out. So these two big barracudas, I mean, I don't know how big they're, huge.
Yeah.
Come up to us, and if you've ever been in the water with a barracuda,
I've been there.
Kind of unnerving.
Yeah.
So they stare into your soul. And
they really do. They look evil. And they
snap their teeth.
Yeah, they ain't nothing but a mouthful of teeth.
Right. And it's like they're talking to you with their mouth open. You know, they're just going real slow back and forth, opening their mouth and closing their mouth. Just showing off like, hey, I could bite your head off.
Oh, yeah.
If I really wanted to.
Well, we go snorkeling and stuff when I went with Chris and Melissa to the Bahamas a lot. And her dad does a lot of spearfishing, just snorkeling. He's got some tanks and stuff down there, too. I think he does some scuba diving. But he carries a dive bag. And when he spears a fish, he puts it in his dive bag, and he'll get 3 or 4 and then go back to the boat. He actually had a barracuda come and grab his dive bag. He's had it happen multiple times, and he said you just basically got to let him have it. But one grabbed his dive bag and got his leg at the same time. And he said he went to stabbing it with the spear, trying to get it to get loose from his leg. He got back to the boat, and he was cut all to pieces.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee.
I mean, because all they are is teeth and bad intentions. Yeah. I mean, that's all they are. They look evil. They look mean.
For sure.
But, all right, guys. Well,
hang on. Before we go to our break.
Before we go to the break, what do you got?
Just because it's been bothering me.
Okay.
I was thinking about Elk River Falls. Just for whatever reason, it sparked my interest. Have you seen the movie filmed down there? It's on Netflix. I had the name of it right there. Legend of a White-tailed Deer Hunter. Have you seen that yet?
I have not.
You've got to watch that.
I've heard people talk about it, and they didn't always talk real great about it.
It's just weird. Like it's got a, huh? Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
It's funny enough. Like the main kill shot, they kill a deer on the falls, or shoot at a deer on the falls. Like there's deer all hanging off all these big rocks they've animated in there. It's kind of ridiculous.
Well, from what I heard,
it's a good storyline.
I've heard them talk about it on I think one of the Drury's podcasts. They didn't talk about it real highly because they said it portrayed hunters in a negative light.
To an extent, it did. Like they portrayed the main character to be
a poacher,
an alcoholic.
Yeah,
kind of the same in the same way. Ideally, I thought it was a good storyline. Does it betray all hunters? No, not even close.
Yeah.
But the storyline's there. It's kind of interesting.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
You got to watch it. It's a guy who has his own hunting show, or it's a great hunting show, like the best hunting show ever, apparently.
Yeah.
Or trying to be the best hunting show ever. He's trying to get his son into hunting, and that's the next episode he's working on, is getting his son involved.
Yeah.
Long story short, they're out here in the game lands in McDowell counties where they film all of it, most of it.
That's crazy.
And they end up here at Elk River Falls after this big non-typical. Yeah. That's what they're after, the non-typical. And they got one camera guy. I met the guys actually when I worked at the country house. They come in. I had no idea what they were doing at the time. I didn't know they were any significance. And I found out, like 2 months later, the main guy was like he was on Men in Black 3.
Yeah.
He was portraying the old guy, but he was the young guy.
Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about. I
can't think of his name. It'd make way more sense to think of his name.
Being the younger version of Tommy Lee Jones' character.
Yes.
I got you.
But it's that guy, and I didn't realize it until I say like 3 months later. Cool guys. But anyways. Yeah. But that's the storyline. You have to go watch it if you haven't. I got to hear what you think about it. It's interesting.
I'll check it out.
It's interesting.
We'll do a movie review on the next podcast and see what we think about this. It's out there.
But anyways, you was talking about Elk River Falls, so I had to ask. Have you seen it, you say?
I've not seen it.
You've got to.
It's
pretty interesting.
I've had dreams of a waterfall standing full of giant deer before. But
well, that's what this is to an extent. It's pretty ridiculous. And I actually seen it there. Once you go down to the bottom of Elk, go past the falls and on down, there's a big field down there. We're across the river.
Yeah.
And I sat there watching. I was like, that looks familiar. Oh, wait a minute. That's where that is. They filmed that where
they say there's some big deer down in that area.
That's what I've heard.
I don't know. I ain't never hunted it either.
I've hunted it, but I ain't never seen none. So.
I got you.
But it is what it is.
Yep.
But anyways,
seems to be a common thing with you is.
Hey. Easy. Let's not go there. We're doing good.
It'll be all right.
It'll be your when time. I kill a bigger deer than you this year, it's going to be great.
I'll be tickled for you. I'll be happy for you. I'll do everything I can to put you on a bigger one than I'm going to kill.
I'll take back what I said about you.
I don't think you said anything bad, but I don't want to know what you were thinking there.
It wasn't nice.
All right, guys.
Let's
go to break. We'll be back shortly with the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast.
This segment of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast is brought to you by Mountaineer Outfitters, the official outfitters of Appalachian Holler Hunters. Visit them online on Facebook or Instagram, or visit them in person at 65 Haynes Road in Newland, North Carolina. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturdays. Stop by and see them today for all your hunting and shooting sport needs. Man, I was going down the road. You see all them turkeys down there at Farmer Johnson's place?
Nah, man, I didn't see him.
Man, there was at least 20 or 30 of them out there strutting around this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. We need to get on them.
Oh, that's right, we do, but the thing is, he won't let nobody hunt that place there.
Man, that ain't no problem. We can get on the Onyx Hunt app. We can find who owns the properties around them, get permission to go hunt them, and get after them.
Really? If I'd have known that, I'd have been on birds all over the county last year.
Yeah, man, you can mark waypoints, you can see topo maps, and you can see neighboring parcels, so you can hunt all around him. So if you got that stubborn landowner that won't let you on it, find out who owns the property beside him and go hunt.
Well, if that's the case, I'm downloading that thing right now.
Download it, man, and get started.
Man, are you tired?
Dude, I'm killed.
Man, how can you be tired? It's opening day of turkey season.
I know, we've been scouting all week.
Man, take one of these rowdy energies. It'll light a fire under you real quick. That's better now, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now we'll run through the woods like a madman.
Like a Cheeto on cocaine.
Let's go get it.
Let's get it. All right, guys, we are back with the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast. And we got into a little bit of a discussion here during the break, and we're going to carry this on into the podcast because I feel like it's worth talking about.
Yes.
We were just talking about the Mayweather versus one of the Paul boys.
Logan Paul.
Is it Logan?
Yep, Logan Paul.
The fight, and it's tomorrow
Yep.
at lunchtime.
Yeah, well, today is June 5th, by the way. This probably won't get aired till Wednesday after the fight. So
Yeah, so we have no idea what's going to happen. Nobody does. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
it really is.
As far as there's not any scoring, and there's not going to be a winner announced.
Yep.
And they can call it a knockout or not call it a knockout, but
still, to my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong, but everything I've seen, they're not going to have a legit winner.
no,
Like,
there's
'cause
no judges
or nothing. There's
no
decide.
scoring. And they said if someone gets knocked down or unable to fight, then they'll just quit.
Yeah.
It's basically a glorified sparring session.
Yeah.
Is all it is.
Yep.
But for how many millions of dollars?
It's stupid. I don't even remember. It's ridiculous. It's great marketing on both of them's part.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't ask. I mean, it's smart.
But when they're standing they're getting ready to fight, it looked like you and Samuel standing looking at each other.
Yes.
I'm 6'5", 230.
I'm 4'3". Just kidding.
Christian's fairly close to 6'5".
If you consider the fight, that's what they're saying.
I mean,
he's close.
Well, whenever they done the stare down, hell, Mayweather was staring at his throat.
Yeah. I don't know. It's more like his nipples. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd never even heard of the Paul boys. Like, surprisingly, I never heard anything about it. So, to be honest with you, I dug deep this week. Like before I go to bed at night, I've been like, who are these MFers? Like, I was sitting there scrolling. I found out. And learned a lot in the last couple of days.
And they're cocky YouTube guys.
Yeah, 100%.
But they've made a fortune doing it.
Yes.
And
they've won some legit boxing
that's
matches.
It. Everybody wants to see them get their ass kicked for some reason.
Just because they're doing something that they're not supposed to do, because they didn't start out doing it.
Yeah.
I'm honestly pulling for Logan in this one.
Well, but can't help it. All they'd have to do is make YouTube videos and work out. I mean, hell, if I didn't have nothing else to do for a long time, I could turn into a professional boxer after a couple of years if I wanted to.
And that's what they're saying. They're like, we ain't supposed to be here, but look, we put in the time. You put enough time into anything, it'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, look at this hunting show we've done. We put time into it, and it's doing better than I ever thought it would.
I mean, and them boys look pretty stout, and they've actually started. I mean, they've got more money than they know what to do with, so they can hire the best boxing coaches in the world.
Yep. I'm excited. Like, I'm not going to pay to watch the fight.
No,
because it's going to be on YouTube 20 minutes after it's over.
Yeah.
And on all over social media. But I'm excited to see how it turns out. To be honest with you, I'm looking forward to it because it's one of those what ifs.
Yeah.
If just like they're saying, and they're marketing it the same way, if Logan Paul wins this fight, holy cow, he beat what's considered the greatest boxer of all time.
Pound for pound, yeah.
Straight up.
And if he connects with Mayweather,
or even if he connects with him, it's going to be big.
Yeah, I mean that was like with the McGregor fight; they were pretty close to the same size.
Yeah,
this guy, I mean, I understand you are the best boxer,
and he's fought guys close to that size and people like that before. But now he's how old now?
Well,
and this guy's 26 years old. He's going to fight.
I don't know.
26-year-old beast. I mean, just to be honest.
if Mayweather knocks him out, that's going to be saying something for him because, I mean, he's a lot smaller than that guy. I know size is not everything in a fight like that, but
if I'm not mistaken, I think, I don't know, it's one of those things that can be staged, but I seen a thing on on Logan's social they posted months ago. He actually got knocked out by another boxer.
Yeah.
And it looked like a pretty easy knockout. So if that's legit, and if he's that easy to knock out,
he may do it.
He may get knocked
Mayweather's
out.
fast. I don't care how old he is. He's fast.
Right.
And that's how he made his money
He figured it out. He figured out the art of it. I mean, he figured out the art of getting points, and that's it.
Yeah, if you look into a lot of his fights, it was wins by unanimous decision. It wasn't knockout wins.
Right.
So
We're not professional boxer analysis by no means. Analysis. But it's topic of conversation across the world right now. Because, like I mentioned before, all this stuff. If Floyd Mayweather wins this fight, quotation wins this fight,
and the only way
he gains nothing. Okay, he knocked out. He beat up a YouTuber. Wow.
He gains about $30-40 million.
Ton of money. There's a ton of money there. But if Logan Paul wins this fight, that changes everything. He's going to have to fight all these other guys because McGregor's going to want a piece of it.
Well, they're already wanting, and his brother's fixing to fight Woodley.
Yeah, Woodley,
who is a legit fighter. Right now, he better bring his stuff. He's gonna get his ass beat.
I reckon Jake's like the cocky younger brother. He's that guy. Yeah. Logan's the more mature,
but he's the bigger one, isn't he?
Yeah, Logan's the bigger one.
I mean, he's not little.
I
don't know that you'd call either of them peaceful or not cocky.
No, they're both cocky, but the other one, not Logan.
He's not as bad as his brother.
Yes, the younger brother's the one that you seen on everything. It took Mayweather's hat and all that stuff and caused a big ruckus.
Yeah.
And now Mayweather wants to fight both of them. But anyway.
Do you have any input on this, Sam Gates?
I do not. I'm in the dark on this.
You're in the dark. You're going to have to go and look this up real quick before this happens.
It's pretty interesting.
I mean, he's 8 inches taller than him and outweighs him by probably 40, 50 pounds or more.
And half his age.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
I mean, it just from an outside looking in, like I said, we don't know shit about boxing, but just from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like it's starting out to be a fair fight, even though he is the most experienced boxer
That's the thing.
In the world,
it's such a toss-up that it's really interesting.
There's no judges, no scorecards, and they can quit at any time. It's basically a glorified sparring match.
It's going to be a forfeit or a knockout.
Well, that's it. The only way to call it a win is for somebody to get knocked out. There's the only way, and that's 8 3-minute rounds or 12 3-minute rounds or something like that. I don't remember.
So who's paying the $30 million? They both
apparently.
Well, they got a huge contract with the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
like it's pathetic, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, there's the whole controversy or not really controversy. The what's the word I'm looking for? Theories. The theories that Logan Paul has bet on himself because, like this week, he posted a video of like him training, but he looked terrible. I mean, it was awful. It was bad.
Yeah,
like almost it was staged to look bad.
Well, but how can you bet on yourself? How can you take bets on a fight that don't have a scoring system or judges
That's the thing. But there's bets everywhere on it, so I don't know how it's supposed to work. I really don't, but. There's a lot riding on it. There's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
If one of them don't get knocked out, both of them, even if one of them has hands down fought a better fight, they're both going to say they won.
Yeah.
So how do you judge something like that?
So they'll come back for another fight and make another $30 million.
That's what it sounds like.
I mean, you're pretty good at this stuff, Christian. Don't you think you get somebody to pay us $30 million to fight?
I'm sure if we market hard enough, we could make some money.
Hell,
I'll throw the fight.
Don't get me wrong. We live in a small town.
For that kind of money, I'd fight Floyd Mayweather and him at the same time.
You got to think, we live in a small town, so if you give us a week to put posters up in some of these local stores, we'd have 10,000 people out here in the front lawn here waiting to watch us box out here.
Charge him $1 to get in. Shane sell him some popcorn, some drinks.
That's what I'm saying.
He can make some money.
I don't think we're going to clear $30 million like that, guys.
Well,
we're going to have to expand past.
We don't need $30 million. Hell, we get a couple thousand, we'd be happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's all we need.
Hard day's work.
We get 10,000 people here.
Yeah, I would be happier with $30 million.
And technically, with me being short as I am, you could technically propose it as midget wrestling. And it's going to bring in people.
Oh,
God.
All right.
So we're so off track, but we had to get that conversation going because we knew it'd be pretty interesting to see where it landed.
So we're going on another off-topic thing. We've started doing some preseason scouting and stuff, and I had something on camera this week
Oh, God.
that I have never had on camera before. I've had one picture of this on camera before. Different thing. Answered an age-old question: does the bear shit in the woods? Got camera proof of that.
Yep.
So we answered that question.
On our Tacticam reveals.
Yeah, on the Tacticam reveals. But then I've had a lot of bear coming in. Like I said, if it's any indication of how bear season is going to be, it's going to be a banner year from bear hunting. I've got pictures in this one spot of everything from lunchbox size bear all the way up to bear the size of the one you killed, 400 or 500 pounds, big uns, and everything in between. There's probably 10 or 12 different bear on camera in this one area, and two bear in particular had been on camera a lot together. And today they decided, last night, they decided to film a Yogi and whatever Yogi's girlfriend is porno in front of my video camera. And I got a picture of this one time about 8 or 10 years ago, one picture, and then they're back eating. This started at like 1:40 in the morning and got pictures consistently of this activity happening all the way up to like 1:54. They were going at it for 14 minutes nonstop.
It was ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I've seen ever on a game.
I've never seen
Just to be honest.
anything like this. I was almost like blushing looking at the pictures.
It was we was eating at a Mexican restaurant.
We're
They
flipping
showed
through the
me.
pictures and they've got their back to us. And then there's one picture where the one on top is like looking at the camera, like spun his head looking
every
right,
position
like,
imaginable,
right
every
in the
direction imaginable. They've rotated and rotated, and
They changed
nasty.
positions a few times.
There was one
Yes.
where
looked at the camera.
where the
They knew
one
what
on
they
the
were
bottom
doing.
Yes.
wasn't there, and the one on the top's looking right in the camera with his mouth open, and you can see his like close. I'm like, this is the most awful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh God! It's
But I
ridiculous.
feel like. I mean, I don't know if Tacticam will want these pictures or not. We're going to send them to
Oh
them.
yeah, we're going.
mean-
you best believe by tomorrow morning they're going to be sent to Tacticam reveal.
Yeah.
So look for it. We're going to post it on our social. Just
Oh, yeah.
Just because I mean it's hilarious.
Well,
It's
I mean,
hilarious.
how many times...
I don't think we're going to post
running-
all of them because there ain't enough room on Instagram for all.
I've been running trail cameras since I
was.
was like 13 years old, 14 years old. My first trail camera was a box with a camera actually inside it with a motion sensor that when it would go off, it pushed the top of the camera and snapped the picture. You had to put film in it, and it would take like 24 pictures, and you'd take it out, take the roll of film out, take it to CVS and get it developed, and then flip through them. That was my first trail camera.
Nice.
And I've been
That's
running
awesome.
cameras since then, getting no less than 15, 20,000 pictures a week, year-round. I've never seen this happen to that extent before in front of a trail camera.
That was ridiculous.
It's the most ridiculous
never seen
thing I've
anything
ever seen in
ridiculous.
my life. I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
So we had that going on. And then I had an interesting fish story from this week. I've already told you this story. I hadn't told
This is
Samuel
pretty
this
good,
I
story.
hadn't heard it.
All right, so we're fishing at an undisclosed location, and we are bass fishing. And I'm fishing with about a 6-inch lizard on a 2/0 hook, and I've just got a sinker on there. I'm just dragging for bass, just lifting, setting down, lifting, setting down. Caught 3 or 4 good ones. Me and Jedediah, a boy that comes in the shop a lot, we're fishing together. And I'm fishing up against the pipe in the bottom end of a pond, and I lift it up, and I feel tap, 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 tap. And I reel down, and I set the hook, and it stops. Then it starts going the other way. And I've got my bass rods from where I fished in college. I've got the right tackle. And it starts trying to wrap me around the pipe. And so, I mean, I lay the wood to it, and I started getting it. I finally get it away from the pipe, and it turns, and it launches straight up and comes out of the water probably 2-3 foot high. And it's a freaking trout that looks like he's that wide from his back to his belly.
Nice.
I mean, a monster trout. And I'm like, I start freaking out, like, because that was the last thing I was expecting to catch on that rig was a trout. We were bass fishing. We'd probably caught 15 or 20. And I'm yelling at Jedediah. I'm going, oh no, Jedediah, get down here. It's a freaking trout. It's a freaking trout. So he runs down there, and I finally get it turned and get it coming toward the bank. I'm like, get a net, get a net, get a net. And he's like, we ain't got no damn net. We ain't got no damn net. And I get it to the bank, and there's a ledge on the pond where we're at that's about 4 foot wide that it ain't but probably 3 or 4 inches deep. I'm like, get in the water, get in the water, get in the water. Because, I mean, I just got him. Like, I can see the hook through his upper lip, and it went all the way through, but he's shaking. He's jumping 3 foot out of the water. Every time he hits the water, he just turns and comes back out. It looked like I was fighting a freaking marlin instead of fighting a trout. And I'm like, get in the water, get in the water. He's like, I ain't getting in the water. I'm wearing tennis shoes. I'm like, well, here, take the damn rod. And I hand him the rod and just go barreling into the pond. I get the fish corralled. I'm trying to like Pele him over to the bank, and I get him close to the bank, and Jedediah pulls up to try to swing him out. I don't know why he was thinking he could swing this fish out, and the hook pops. And he goes, he's loose, and the fish starts trying to swim away, and I'm kicking the shit out of it, trying to get it to the bank. And I finally just reach down and scoop him and just sling him up on the bank. Nice. And got him on the bank. He's probably 22, 23 inches long, big old rainbow trout. And I'm holding him up. I'm like, take a picture. He's starting to bleed. Take a picture, trying to save the fish, get the picture, because we want to document all of this.
Yeah.
We get the picture. So I'm going to do the ethical thing and ease him down in the water, let him go nice and gentle. That thing gets 2 foot above the water, jumps out of my hands, hits the water, and goes with that tail and soaks me. When all this is over, from my knees down, looks like I've been swimming, nice. Even though I'm standing in 4 inches of water. I'm splashed on my shirt, all over the place. I mean, I'm freaking soaked. And I turn around and look at Jedediah. His eyes are big around his golf balls. He's like, what the hell was that all about? Like, I don't think he's ever seen me get fired up like that, especially not over a fish. I mean, I get fired up over deer hunting, but that was one of the more fun fishing fights, because, I mean, it about whooped me with that big. If I'd have had a trout rod, it'd have broke it off easy. I mean, I'm running 18, 20-pound fluorocarbon. I'm running heavy line on heavy tackle. That's
a big fish.
Yeah, it was probably 5 pounds or better. It was a big trout. For that particular pond, it was a monster trout.
Yeah.
But I was like, holy crap. But we will have those pictures on our social.
Yes.
Here pretty soon.
Yes.
But
that is awesome.
Those are the two most interesting things that's happened in the outdoors for me this week. What about you guys?
Well, I had one. I've got a very similar story to that. So your fish story. We were up in Cherokee. I was up there with some friends. One of the guys was getting married. You know, we're out there. So our Saturday activity was we're going fishing. So there's probably 10 of us, I guess. So we're leapfrogging in trucks. You know, 3 or 4 trucks out there. When you get to a truck, you drive it past the next truck, and we're just all working up the river.
Yeah.
Know? So me and Nick Boone are fishing together. We've left all our wallets, keys, snuff, cell phone, everything's in the truck because you don't really know which truck you're going to be in.
Yeah.
So we're fishing. I mean, we got some lures and a pole. That's all we need. There's some spinners and a pole. So we're throwing out, and, you know, we've leapfrogged a few times, and I hook one, and I'm like, yeah, here he is. I mean, you can tell. He's the monster.
Yeah.
About that time he rolls, he clears out of the water. I'm like, oh, my gosh, biggest trout I've ever seen in my life. I mean, biggest brown, huge.
Yeah.
So I fight him. I'm on a little light tackle, light rod, you know, 8-pound test, something. But so I ease him, and I work him, and I ease him, and I get him right over there at the bank. And he's on. There's a rock kind of in between the river, the river and this little pool that's right in front of me where I can grab him.
Yeah.
So I start easing him over. Line breaks. Oh. So I bail in there after him, and as he's turning to go away, I stick my hand in there, and the hook sets in my finger. So now I got the fish on the other end of the hook on the other end of my finger, trying to get away from me.
Sakes.
So I holler for Nick. He's nowhere to be found. So I get him drug out, back up on the bank, get the hook out of my finger. No cell phone, no nothing. Can't take
evidence.
A picture, no tape measure, no nothing. So I'm like, Nick, get over here. I'm like, you are my witness. You're the only person in the world that's going to know anything about this fish. So from my knee to the bottom of my foot, which is a lot longer than Christian's knee. I mean, he was there. Nick's the only person that can validate the story, but it happened.
That's awesome.
And it was great.
Tell us what happened later on that day. Is that not the same fishing trip where you got a little woozy?
Yeah, so there was no drinking involved. Nothing. This is
a disclaimer at the beginning of this story.
This is a beautiful day. We're out on the water. So I'm pretty bummed after missing that fish. So I'm gonna get a bigger one. that's going to happen because Levi's already caught some huge fish. He's got pictures of his fish because he carried his cell phone with him.
Yeah.
Pretty good idea. So down in this pool at the bottom of the water, or of this, big steep rock face, fishing down there, no good. So I see this little pool kind of at the top of the rocks.
Yeah.
Well, we're 60 feet under the road. I had to crawl down this little goat path to get down here to the river where we are. So I'm like, yeah, I can make that, no problem. So, a little bit of a backstory. Take a break. Went on this fishing trip, got down there, forgot my fishing pole, forgot my fishing vest, forgot everything. I have nothing.
You went on a fishing trip with no fishing gear.
Fishing trip, no fishing gear. Just forgot to pack it.
Yeah.
So Walmart run, all new stuff, new pole, everything ready to go. Sweet deal. Nice new rod. I'm feeling good. So now I'm crawling up this rock face with my new rod, all my new gear, ready to go. Everything's good. Get up there, get tripped up about 20 feet up through there, slide all the way back down to the bottom, bust my leg over the rock. My brand new fishing pole in the water, gone.
Oh crap! You dropped the rod?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gone. Still ain't found
God.
it. So
Sheesh.
it's gone. So I'm laying over there and I'm like, golly. I mean, it right on my shin, where there's nothing but a little piece of skin between the bone and your shin. So I'm flopping around on the bank, and Hunter looks at me. He's like, man, you all right? I was like, oh, I don't know. So I started to stand up, and then just fell back over. So passed out cold for whatever reason. I have no idea. So Hunter, he was.
I know what it was. It was the strain of you losing $40 in that fishing rod that made your top buck pass out.
Lost the biggest fish of my life and my brand new fishing pole all in one go. But my boys come down. They tried. We hunted in the hole. Nick actually got in and dove to the bottom, hunted around for the pole, couldn't find it.
That's crazy.
Bad day.
Dang.
But yeah, I passed out cold right there at the river. Don't know why.
Lord God.
That's my theory is correct on that. This is the idea of losing $40. It was too much for you to bear.
Yeah, the biggest fish of my life, no big deal. But
that $40 rod.
Brand new $40 rod.
One, you probably had the receipts. You could take it back when you got done, didn't you? Don't you lie to me.
I would probably have kept that. And after I caught that big fish, I probably would have kept her. Nice rod. Nice rod.
But you had bad intentions. That's karma right there.
If it wouldn't have been no good, I'd have probably took it back.
Oh, Lord.
All right, guys. Well, Christian, like we hinted to at the first of the podcast, we got some exciting stuff coming up this year.
I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you.
Where are we at with the YouTube show right now?
Well, YouTube, obviously, we've been kind of throwing some antics videos out. Just something to put in there in between our end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2. We've got a speckled trout trip me, Dawson, and Patrick had done. That was back in the summer of 2020. And then we got our rabbit hunt, which was back in January of this year, 2021. And we got one more coming up. We got our y'all's pheasant hunt that y'all do. That's going to be a really good one.
Yeah. The world gets introduced to the infamous Buddy Gates on that one.
Oh,
yes.
Speaking of which,
we'll take a break there for a second.
Yeah, Buddy has had open heart surgery.
I had open heart surgery the beginning of last week. Talked to him, got to FaceTime him today. He's in the hospital, but he's
How
doing
is the
good.
man doing?
He's feeling good. He's right back where he was. Seven vessels replaced in his heart.
Gracious.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had him laid out on the table, but he's feeling good right
Good.
now.
He's in our prayers. Everybody, the whole team has been thinking about him. I've been worried to death about him.
Yeah.
But everybody's been thinking about him, and you guys will understand why we're so affectionate about Buddy whenever you see the videos and stuff. He's an awesome guy.
I've met him one time, and he's a great, great guy. Yeah. I mean, you can't beat him.
I told him, so I talked to him the day before he went into surgery, and I told him what Chuck, Shane's dad, had told me one time about it.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going in for surgery, and he said, I scheduled that thing at 6 o'clock in the morning. He said, I want to be the first one in there. So why you want to do that, Chuck? He said, well, you always want to be the first one in when you're going under the knife because that's when the knife's the sharpest. First thing in the morning.
That sounds about like that. That sounds about right for him.
But no, he was
one of many wise words of wisdom he's given us over the years. We still got to write that book.
You can do a whole episode on the words Chuck.
Yeah.
He's got some good sayings. They
He's
make
got
perfect
some
sense.
good sayings and a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah.
On everything from going under surgery to premarital sex and
Oh, yeah.
everything
Yeah,
else.
That's the best one. That's the best one. That was a life changer for me because we're about 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, we had CJ and one of his buddies, which were 3 years older than us. One of them got his girlfriend pregnant, and he's at the house. He's down. He's out. I can't believe this. How could this happen? And tell him what Dad's words of wisdom were
so
for us.
he said, boys, he leaned up, spit between his boots, and he said, look down there at the barn. It's about 100 yards away or so. He said, I got a balloon hanging on that barn down here. He said, now if I stand right here and I throw this dart at that barn, he said, probably ain't going to hit it the first time. But if I throw enough times at that dart, I'm going to hit it.
He said, eventually I'm going to pop it. And he said that works the same way with your girlfriend.
You're going to luck up and hit it.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And everybody there started dying laughing except for that one boy.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
I mean, he was right.
I mean, yeah. What do you say? I mean, just to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, so.
But
anyway, so Buddy's doing good. We're going to have the pheasant hunt coming up soon. After I guilt tripped you into that one today.
It's ruined my day. I had a great morning, and he just ruined it. He just stomped on me, and it's bad. Anyways.
And then after that, what we got coming down the line?
All right, after that, we got, I don't know how many more antics videos we're going to do. Try not to prolong it much longer.
Yeah.
But we've had to push it out. Going back to what we talked about in the beginning of the episode here, with me moving back up here, it's just kind of prolonged everything.
Well, and it's kind of coming around right because we've got some new people coming on board as far as.
It's kind of worked out just the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, as far as sponsors and stuff.
We've got new partners. We've got some new guys on the show. There's, new field producers. And I guess we'll just jump right into that.
Yeah.
Like I say, with everything being postponed a little bit, getting up here, it's given me a ton of time to work on helping out our sponsors, getting in touch with our sponsors, getting in touch with everybody, touching base,
commercials and
starting to shoot commercials. So that being said, I guess the first announcement we'll make is I'll talk about who we had in here today.
Yeah.
We got two new field producers.
Yep.
Justin Pritchard, you'll see him here in season 2. He went with us to Georgia on our first.
Well, and he was
trip.
In season 1.
Well, yeah,
on
actually,
some of the. He made a couple appearances on the bear hunting episodes.
Yep, he's kind of there in some of the bear hunting episodes. He hunts with Mitch and them boys. Hardcore for bear season. Hardcore bear hunter. Great guy.
Yep.
He's always there where the action is.
Oh yeah, and he's not afraid to put in the legwork.
No, not at all.
I mean, he will take off running. He'll run a bear down if he has to.
Yeah. That's going to be good. And the other one, we got Walker Carswell. I can't even talk again.
Yep.
He's going to be another good one. He's right there and hunts with a handful of different guys as far as bear hunting goes.
And stuff. And he laid with it during turkey season. He done a good job during turkey season.
Yep. He tagged out North Carolina.
Yeah, he got some good videos.
I think he got one in Tennessee or something, maybe. I can't quite remember.
I don't remember either. But
he had a good turkey season regardless.
Yeah.
And we got those two new guys coming. I think we got maybe one or two more. We got as field producers.
Yeah, we're working on another couple that are more aimed on the deer hunting side.
Right. Just to try to balance everything out. That way, we've got our show host. We've got that set in stone. There's 7 of us all together. Obviously, me and Shane. Got Sam Clausen, obviously, the bear master, or the bear legend.
Yep.
Mitch Holman. You got his son Bentley. We've got him in there. Matthew McKinney. And then we got Dawson Turbofield, which we had him in there as our fishing guy, and then take him to Strut Masters, and apparently he's the biggest turkey hunter there is now. Apparently,
he had a good one. He got into turkey hunting after that. He got him a good bird on the ground. I was talking to the boy that was with him the other day. He was in the gun shop, and there's 2 sides to that story as well, but we won't get into that right now. But that was funny.
Yeah, I've heard both sides.
Both sides is funny.
It's great, but we got that going on, and then we've got a whole crew of field producers. We got guys out here that's dedicated to going out here and helping us get footage.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing is you can never have enough footage as far as putting these things together, and that's what we're shooting to do is try to have the best put together episodes possible. Anywhere from aiming mostly for 30-minute episodes.
The edits and the storylines are all well and good, but I like to see stuff hit the dirt.
Right, and that's what we're going for here. That's why we've got, I think, a crew of. Don't quote me on this because I'm not looking at it, but I think 13 of it, or 13 is a whole team. Right now for Holler Hunters.
Yep.
It's going to be great. is hands down.
Yeah.
So that being said, I guess I'll move on to our partners.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, we got to really work with our guys with the Bone Collector this year, Tacticam, Realtree. We've worked with all those guys. Thankfully, because Strutmasters really helped out with that.
That
It was a
helped
good
a lot.
opportunity to get with those guys. I could list our sponsors, but
Big&J, Tacticam, those
Yeah.
guys, Carhartt, everybody's
Onyx
been
Hunt,
awesome. Onyx
everybody,
Hunt.
Rowdy Energy, the whole nine. They've all been great guys.
Yep.
But our newest one we just added in the last couple of days has been Victory Archery.
Victory Archery.
We're already accompanied with NAP Archery, which
Yep.
is our broadhead guys. Great broadheads. You cannot beat them.
Yep.
And then now
Illuminated Nocks.
Yes.
They've got some fantastic illuminated Nocks. I
Yes.
got a bunch of them in the other day, and those things are awesome.
Yes, they are great. NAP stuff is phenomenal. Top of the line, the best you can get. Hands
Spitfire double cross. Do
Yes,
it. Do the
great.
double cross.
I don't know. Those DK4s look pretty wicked. I was looking at them the other day.
Spitfire.
Have you tried the
double
DK4?
cross.
Have you tried the DK4?
I don't have to.
I'm gonna try it.
I got a couple in there
I'm gonna get some
that
just to
can
try
tell
'em
you what a Spitfire double cross will do to them.
when you don't miss.
You know why they're in there? Because they on the wall. They're dead. They met the business into that double cross.
They did. That just for sure. They did put them down.
And I shot one with a competitor broadhead, and let's just say the blood trail and the drag from the double cross wasn't nothing near as bad as the competitor broadhead.
Yeah.
And that one was just by accident. I didn't realize which arrow I had in it.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
It'll happen. But that being said, now we're partnered with Victory Archery, which is arrows
Arrows.
primarily, and they've got, I'm willing to say, the best stuff on the market.
Yeah.
I've shot a little bit of everything. We've shot
And they
Gold
have
tip
a
Easton.
huge lineup of arrows. Everything
Yes.
from crossbow to archery, from hunting to target, big game, small game. They've got everything.
yes, and it's all, you can talk numbers all day long. These guys have this stuff down to a science,
Yep.
and it is bad to the bone. The stuff
Well, and they've got
going
a
on.
pretty interactive website. If you want to get on there, you can put in what you're using now, find out what of theirs is going to match up to your setup the best, and just make it easy to transition over.
Yeah, very easy transition. That's what we were doing. Just to be honest about it. I was used to shooting gold tips. That's what I had primarily. Gold tip hunters, loved them. They done fine for me. Never done them any wrong. But I was interested in Victory Archery.
Yep.
And that was the biggest thing is most people, whenever they get hooked on a certain brand or whatever it is, it's hard to make a switch.
Oh, I'm the biggest brand whore in the world.
That's what I'm saying.
I get hung up on a brand and I'm stuck there. That's
Right.
just-
And I was like, well, it's going to be hard not only for me but our team members to try to make a switch like that. But they've got awesome stuff. It'd be stupid not to. But
Yeah.
they make it so easy to switch because they have all that stuff available on their website.
Yep.
It's easy to transition over from what you're shooting now. You don't have to do a bunch of math and figuring and testing and buying arrows and seeing what works. You just transfer it over and you've got it figured out.
Well, and
First
we've got
pack-
some of our
right.
guys like Matthew. He's dialed in.
Right.
He's been dialed in since we were in high school.
Yeah.
And he's using a similar setup. I mean, I'm sure his bow's a little newer since then, but I don't want to be on the downhill side of whatever he's shooting at because
Right.
he don't miss.
Right.
And for somebody like that to consider switching over, that says a lot. Because,
Right.
I mean, you're completely redoing your setup. When you change
Right.
arrows, you're having to retune everything.
Yep.
Retuning broadhead, retuning sights, retuning everything. I mean, it's if you
Yeah.
want to get to the point where you shoot like those guys shoot, it's going to take some time to tune everything else in.
Right. Ultimately, partners, sponsors, they're helping us. They're doing us a
That's
favor.
exactly right.
But at the same time, to convince guys that's, to be honest, are downright just hunters. They're not
Yeah.
in it for the camera work, for the most part.
Yeah.
Like Matthew knows guys, they're there for the hunt because that's what they've lived, breathed, and that's their whole life.
Yeah.
It's hard to convince them to do something like that. And
Well, but when
if you have a product that's good enough that can convince them to do that,
Yeah. Well, that says something about
Right,
that name because when
right.
we threw that name out there, there wasn't really a whole lot of convincing. They said,
right, let's do it.
yeah, get us the arrows. Let's do it.
Yep. So I'm really excited to partner with those guys. We'll be doing some more stuff for them. Like we mentioned before, we're in the middle of shooting commercials and stuff for season 2. Yep. We're not trying to be a one big ad by no means, but we do want to showcase the sponsors we got.
Yeah, we want to help the people that are helping us.
Right, want to help them out. Not only that, I want to show people what stuff works.
Yeah.
If we have it on our show, we 100% believe in it, or we're not going to be
We're not
partnering
going to
with
be
it.
using it. Yeah.
I mean, hands down, best stuff there is, or we ain't gonna mess with it. And
Yeah.
it ain't a money racket. We're not about that, because I mean, look at where we're at. Small town,
Yeah.
USA, blue collar guys. This ain't a pissing contest. Who spend the most money? It's just about getting the job done. You put all this time and all this money into hunting and this hobby, and it's an expensive hobby no matter what route you go. You can go the cheap Walmart brand, and you're still spending a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
But if you put all this time into it, you want to get something that's going to get the job done and not going to leave you hanging.
Well, and we work a regular job just like everybody else.
Yep.
I mean, we're spending our money on this stuff.
Yeah.
We want to advertise the stuff that works.
Right.
I mean, we ain't going to tell you to buy some junk, because when you've got a job and you've got a family and you've got a life, you don't have all the time in the world to go hunting.
Yep.
You got to pick your days, and when you get a chance to get out there, you want to make the most of it.
Yep.
And that's why we stick with brands that help you make the most of your experience.
Yep.
And that's just the way we do, and that's the way we're going to keep doing.
Yep. Forever and always.
Yep.
Our guys, the guys we're partnered with are great. The companies are amazing.
Yep.
Good customer service across the board.
Yep.
With everybody we're partnered with. Great products. You can't beat it.
Yep.
I mean.
And then past that, we have a new website.
Yep. Just got a new website uploaded.
Yep.
Super easy. It ain't no long drawn out. It's AppalachianHollerHunters.com. Simple as that.
No more webs or anything like
Yeah,
that.
no new.
Keep it simple.
Yep, easy to find. Go to Google, you type it in, it's going to be there. Simple, easy.
Links to the show.
Links to the show are there. We've got a lot of more stuff coming out. We're going to start posting some videos there. We're going to have to start putting some recipes on there, because I mean, one of the great things about living up here is you've got mamas cooking and all these.
Well,
other
and that's
boys
the
that's
reason.
got all these great things.
That's the reason we hunt. And that's the reason we fish.
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, it ain't to kill the biggest animal. Yeah, we like to kill big stuff.
Yep.
We like to have a deer on the wall, but table fare is the reason we go out there. We didn't get to looking like this for no reason.
No.
You don't realize it, but this is the look of the ultimate predator.
That's
If
it.
you're not the ultimate predator, you're skinny.
Yeah.
People that can't kill stuff are skinny.
I'm the skinniest one in the room.
You're also the worst hunter in the room, so there you go.
Fair.
But, I mean, that's the reason we do this, is to get food for the table.
That's
and,
it.
I mean, we grew up eating wild game, coons,
That's it.
deer, rabbit, turkeys.
And everywhere you go, just like we've stated it 100,000 times, everywhere you go in the U.S., across the world, everybody does stuff different. We're just here to show you how we do it.
Yep.
I'm sure the way we going to fix our deer, our bear, whatever, it's going to be different than how everybody else does it. And that's what we want to give you. Give you another option. We're just another option
Yep.
there.
There may be better ways to do it, but I ain't found it yet. So.
Yeah, we're going to show you how we do it. If it fits you, then great. That's awesome. That's what we're here for. We're excited
And then
about
one
it.
more thing coming down the line, the apparel.
The apparel.
Appalachian
finally.
Holler Hunters
It's
apparel
took
finally
us
coming at you.
a while, but we're getting there. We finally got some stuff lined up. We're going to have some shirts available. We're going to go ahead and probably launch on our website an online store.
Yep.
You can go ahead and get your pre-orders in. We'll fill them as needed. We're going to have shirts, hats,
Decals.
decals. Beyond that, not sure what we're going to do. If you have ideas, send it to us. Send it to us in Facebook Messenger, on Instagram. Send us an email, whatever. We've got contact information on our website. Go there and check it out. It's going to be great.
Call the store. Call
Mountaineer Outfitters. Go in Mountaineer Outfitters. 'Cause
We're gonna have the
some
line
stuff in
here.
there.
Yep.
In here, there, because we are.
We
Mountaineer
are
Outfitters
in
Studios.
here right now.
Yeah, we're in the lobby, Mountaineer Outfitters.
Yep.
But
So
that, and we've got a little other news. We ain't going to say what it is just yet. But
we're still firming up details on some other stuff. So
yeah, and it's just needless to say, hard work pays off, big time.
Yep.
And
we're progressing.
big time. I think we've mentioned in a couple other episodes, but it's ridiculous to watch.
The progression of the show as it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go back and turn it on to the first episode every once in a while in here. The difference in the editing, the difference in the video quality, just the overall layout of the show. You can watch the progressions through just the first season.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's come leaps and bounds already. I'm excited to see where it gets to.
Yeah, it's going to be good. As far as editing side, I've learned a lot. Got a lot of stuff planned on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely went from quarter-assed to half-assed at least.
Yes, we're getting there.
So we're getting there.
We're getting there.
It's progress.
Well, I started out just wanting to show, keep memories for hunting, because we all do it. We'd like to preserve those memories in some fashion. It's now turned into something that people like to watch.
People, I mean, we've got people watching, listening for some unknown reason.
Yeah, who knows why.
They like to hear us. So, I like to hear. So
Yeah, we'll have a good
there
time.
you go.
It's a
We
great
have
time.
we have fun. This gives us another excuse to talk about deer hunting and fishing.
Yeah, it gives us another excuse to run our mouths. So it's exactly right. I feel like I'm missing something there. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
We
either.
haven't really set a date for season 2 yet. We're working on that. That was what I was going to go back and hit on a little bit. Season 2, like I say, is coming. We've got, I think right now the way we lined it up, we've got 8 turkey episodes, give or take. We're not
And that
going to
should
just throw them
push
out
us
there.
into
but
deer season.
it's going to push us right through deer prep, deer season, bear season. It's going to push us right through. Should put us on the right cycle.
Yeah.
And like I say, we've got all kinds of stuff coming. We got tips and tricks. Not really cooking episodes, but recipe episodes. Like we mentioned, maybe putting recipes on our website.
Short videos.
Yeah, just short videos.
We're going to have some short videos to go along with the full length episodes.
Yep.
So we're going to have some food plot prep stuff coming up. We've got a lot of our early stuff all of our early stuff is already in.
Yep, we've already got.
I mean, we've
Yes.
got plants coming out of the ground, so
And that's
we're right
coming-
where we need to be.
Yes.
And then we're going to do some fall food plot tips, tricks, strategies. We're going to do some videos on that around first part of August.
Yep.
Is where we're going to aim at for that. So
And we're on a podcast. We got news for the podcast. We got some pretty cool guests coming up for it.
yes, we do
We're-
have some special
Now that we're
guests.
hopefully, if everything goes the way we need it to, we'll be back on track on having a podcast out every Wednesday. We'll have a legit schedule here put together shortly.
Once you get back up here in a week or so, we're
Yes.
going to be able to get back on track, and everything's going to
Yes.
flow a lot smoother.
Yes, so that's the biggest thing. But we got some cool guests. Hopefully, our next one we're going to film. If all works out right, we're going to have a really good guest. So, not that you're not a good guest, Sam.
Thanks.
Yeah, not that we're
Feel the
talking
love.
down about you,
Yeah,
Samuel, but
yeah, not that you're just not great or nothing, but
That's all right. It's all right.
and we have we've enjoyed having you on this podcast.
really have. It's
Appreciate
been
that.
it's
and
been a
you
good
are,
time.
and it's been informative. I've
Yes.
learned some stuff on this
Yeah,
podcast.
I think so far it's been my favorite podcast. I'd say it's
It's
probably
all
my
right. You
favorite
don't have to
podcast
say that
episode.
just because I'm sitting here.
Well,
I appreciate it.
and I still think
I think
the whole conversation before the podcast started, I still think that's bullshit. But we won't get back into that again.
Yeah, whatever. Just let that go.
We're going to have to do a little more research on that before we get into that. But all right, guys. Well, that's all I've got. You guys got anything to add to this?
if I did, it's probably not important.
I hear you. Well, once again, guys, we really appreciate everybody's support, listening to the podcast, watching the YouTube channels. If you've not done it already, get on there, like it, subscribe, hit that little bell, hit the bell notifications button. Get on wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's Apple or YouTube, or are we on Spotify yet?
Yeah,
On
everything.
Spotify. Give us a rating, write us a review, hit like button, share it with your friends,
Share it.
tell
Share
everybody
it
you know.
everywhere.
Let's get
share
the word
it on
out.
your Facebook store. Share it on your Instagram.
And
Just
we
share it.
Also, we've said it a dozen times. Thank you to all our sponsors and all our affiliates and everybody that helps us with this show. We couldn't do it without you. The YouTube show and the podcast. We really appreciate everybody. But I think that's going to wrap us up for today. But thank you guys for listening to the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast.
Everybody knows everybody. Well, they sure as hell know me. In that mad dot town, 65 southbound in the